I consciously knew that I was trying to build something that could run without me. I consciously knew that that's what I was trying to build. I consciously knew that that's what I was moving toward. That was the dream, right? My subconscious was not happy with it. So my subconscious found lots and lots of ways to self-sabotage. So my subconscious wasn't happy with it for several reasons. I'll just go into what one of the big ones was for me. There were several, but I'll go into one of the big ones. And oftentimes what I see in women entrepreneurs, it's codependency. Especially online, there's this conversation of I want to make sure everybody's seen and heard. I want to make sure that everybody's included and taken care of, which is wonderful. That's amazing, right? But oftentimes that comes at an expense for women. So the expense looks like still trading time for money. I know you stopped doing that. You stopped doing stuff for people. I stopped doing that years ago. The expense comes at not having team supporting you. The expense comes at not having systems support you. And it will come at a cost. Eventually, like I said, I was moving in this direction consciously, but subconsciously I was resisting it. And I hit wall after wall after wall after wall after wall. And it was a good 6 months of just me having more resistance than I've ever felt in my life, which was very unusual. You know me, I'm usually like, oh, okay, whatever, and I go, right? But I just could not go for about 6 or 8 months. Like that whole pushing through things was not working for me anymore. I didn't want to work. I didn't want to deal with my clients. Granted, there was a lot of family stuff going on as well. My dad was sick and in and out of the hospital for about 8 months. He's fine now. But that was all going on at the same time. I realized I had built a business that although consciously I thought I was building in support systems, I really didn't because I still had a lot of ego wrapped up in it. So I had to start making different decisions, and those decisions brought up a lot of right? Like, well, if I'm a sales trainer, if I'm not doing sales, right? Or if I'm not doing it as much as I used to, like, what are people going to think of me? That was a big one, right? Or, which really in reality makes no sense because what you want to do is give other people opportunities to step up. And that's the logical thing, right? But in my mind, I'm like, well, if this is what I do and then I'm not doing it as much, like, am I going to lose the skill set? What are people going to think about me? That was one. I think another one was I still had some issues around trying to like prove my worthiness to clients, which I see a lot of women get trapped in. No, it needs to be me, right? Or they're going to get upset. It needs to be me or they're going to get upset. Now I really don't care.
Yeah, I on our upcoming mastermind, I put in a caveat because I started thinking, what if something came up on the day that I have a call with them? I need to build that in.
You need backup built in.
Myself or another coach that I really trust that I'm going to pay that's part of the program because life happens.
Because life happens, right?
It still feels vulnerable, though, to stand something like that, build that in.
Yeah, and life was happening all around me for like 6-7 months. Like business was exploding, but that came with a lot of problems as well. The dad in and out of the hospital for 8 months, and eventually I just cracked, right? I couldn't function. I was barely functioning. And I was like, I need to make some big changes. So that was one of them, like training other people and letting them step up and learning how to train and develop people who work for you. Oh my God, I could go on many tangents.
Yeah, like
about that and how people do that wrong.
Oh my goodness.
Many tangents on how people do that wrong. And also like now the process needs to be repeatable and duplicatable. And I think that's a big mistake that a lot of women don't think about. So now in our sales training, we teach a 5-step process that can be plugged into a CRM. You're going to have your scripts ready to go so that when you do hire people down the road, it's already taken care of and it's going to be easier for you.
Do you use like video training and
yeah, we do video trainings, we do all that stuff, right? It's mostly video training or group where we're role playing with people. That's what we do, and then we have a bunch of digital products that we sell. On Teresa sells them. Our funnel, our hardest working salesperson sells them. But there was a lot of ego wrapped up in it, right? There was ego, like if I'm not doing it, who's going to do it? It has to be me. I'm the one, right? And I'd been going around for 3 years saying I didn't want to be the superstar of this, but clearly my subconscious wanted to be the superstar of this, not because it actually wanted to be the superstar, but because it was a worthiness issue. So I think that happens a lot. Yeah, I made, we're afraid of upsetting people.